What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Final Whistle. I'm Daniel, joined alongside my guy, as always, Nathan Osler. Nate, good show today. Finally, we got some decent NBA news to talk about. I love talking about the NBA the most out of anything. What a game 6 that was last night. That had to be some of the best, and it was a blowout, but that was a awesome blowout to watch. And I've been on the helm. If you've been watching this program, you are well aware of the fact that I was saying, okay, it's going to be a sweep. Okay, the Pacers won one game. Okay, they're not going to win another game. Then they go up 2-0. Would they go up 2-0 or they go 1-1?
I think it was. I'll look that up while you're.
I know it was 2-1 at one point. So they kept going up, and I was going, okay, they're not going to win another game. It's going to be Thunder in 6. So I went from Thunder in 4 to Thunder in 5 to Thunder in 6. And Nate, I think I'm done with the Thunder.
They were up 2-1.
I think I'm done. I think I got to be done with the Thunder. I mean, what I saw last game from Indiana was elite ball. Halliburton played hurt.
Yeah,
but
you've been critical of him too.
Very critical, very critical. But now my expectations are what I've been critical of. I'm still not expecting Hallie to go out and drop 20. That is above my expectations. If Hallie goes out and gives you a 20, 25 point game, that's a great game for Halliburton. He's going to average probably 15 points, like what he's been doing. It's not the best player on his team. We're past that. I think that there's no more argument for Tyrese Halliburton to be the best player on this team, but we are past this. What I saw last game out of those Indianapolis Pacers, they played the best defense. They played unbelievable defense against the Thunder, who were one of the best defensive teams I've ever seen in my life. This Thunder team's that good.
Yeah, your guy Chet Holmgren's not having a great series.
Chet's terrible. No. Chet is flat out terrible. He's been absolutely abysmal, and I don't know.
Another bad night last night.
Yeah,
2 for 9, 0 for 3 from 3, 4 points, plus minus of -11. I mean, 24 minutes, 6 rebounds, no assists. He has potential, but it's very.
Does he though?
I think he does. It's just it seems like it's very hit or miss. Like he just hasn't unlocked. I don't know. I don't know if it's just because this is his first finals or whatever. That could be a learning curve, but
it's everyone's first finals though in this series, literally except for Alex Caruso.
My criticism with Chet Holmgren when he got drafted was his size was kind of his build, made me a little nervous. 7'1", really skinny. I thought he was going to be injury prone. I think anyone could see that
for sure. I mean, and a lot of people did.
It's worrisome.
He got hurt that first year. He was done his first year. He was out for the whole year. And everyone was okay, we're right. And then this year, Chet had a great year. And then last year, Chet had a great year as well. But Nate, he's collapsed in the finals. He's been. I think that there is a genuine blame on Chet Holmgren if they can't win this series. You have to look at Chet Holmgren. You have to. He's in your starting lineup, giving you 4 points. Lou Dort gave you 3, but Lou Dort's in your starting lineup not for points. He's in there to put their guys in the torture chamber, which he's done very well. But you're right, Chet Holmgren's been just flat out abysmal. He hasn't been able to shoot from 3. He's been out. He got out rebounded last game by TJ McConnell. TJ McConnell's a 6'1" white guy. He shouldn't be out rebounding anyone that is 7'1"?
Yeah, 7'1".
Yeah, I honestly think that Chet is the reason they're losing these games.
Game 7 on Sunday, I think it is.
Yep.
I'll ask you this question because you brought this up on Wednesday. Do you start Hartenstein at center over Holmgren in Game 7 and put Holmgren on the bench?
They've been going the 2 bigs lineup, which I honestly prefer. I like that lineup for OKC. But what they did last game, their lineup did not. They had Chet and Hartenstein, so they ran the 2 big again: J-Dub, SGA, and Lou Dort. I think that's got to be your lineup for sure because you've got a deep bench. You got Jay Will off the bench, Alex Caruso, Aaron Wiggins can have good games. Sometimes Cason Wallace can shoot well, but the Thunder just didn't shoot well last game. SGA 21 points. That is a down game for him. He only shot 8 free throws. He went 7 for 15 from the field, which is good, but 0 for 1 from 3. The Thunder just they were 8 for 30 in 3-pointers last night.
I'm looking at
Indiana was 15 for 42.
Yeah. I'm looking at Chet Holmgren's game by game in the finals, and this is interesting. He had 3 games that were pretty competent, in my opinion. It was games 2, 3, and 4. Game 2, he shot 54.5%, had 15 points. Game 3, they lost. He shot 40%, 20 points. Game 4, that is, where they won. 44.4, 14 points. Games 1, 5, and 6, though, are the ones that worry me, especially games 5 and 6. Game 1, he shot 22.2%, 6 points. That's been the Chet Holmgren we've got in games 5 and 6. Game 5, 26.7, 9 points. And in game 6, about a spitting image of game 1. Both games were 22.2%, but this time only 4 points. He had more, it looks like more, about the same rebounds, no assists. He hasn't really been making plays with passing. I don't really think that's been a key part of his game, but like, you're the big guy, let's make some plays happen. A total, can you guess his assist totals?
Chet?
Yeah, over the course of this series, how many assists does he have?
Total?
Yeah, total.
12.
4.
Wow.
1 in game 2, 2 in game 3, and 1 in game 4.
I mean, he's a big. He doesn't need to assist, but still,
his rebounds haven't been bad. Like game 5, he put up 11, but I guess that made up for his 26.7 from the field. But like, he's a top pick. He is the second overall pick in the 2022 draft. This is a key piece of the Thunder's core. This is a guy that whenever you get all those draft picks many years ago, this was like one of the picks people were like, oh my gosh, the Thunder. This is what it's going to be. And then, yeah, Chet Holmgren, he's giving me the vibes as someone he could easily go back to a game. If he goes back to a game 2, 3, and 4 form, like I just read off in stat lines, I think they could be in a commanding position to win game 7 because we know what they have. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, you brought up Williams, who's like one of their guys that can win MVP, but I don't think he's going to win MVP finals. But that was a topic.
Not after what he had he was the reason they lost last game. Yeah. His plus minus was, Nate?
I'm not good. None of them were good, really.
It was minus 40.
Yeah, it was a bad day for
I'm pretty sure someone said that's the worst like ever.
Dort had a negative 28 to put that into perspective.
Minus 40 is a starter for J-Dub. 16 points. He was bad, Nate. He had a lot of turnovers as well. Where's the turnovers? Yeah, he had 3 turnovers. SGA had 8 turnovers.
Yeah, he can't be doing that.
That's kind of how he plays, though, just chucking the ball. As a point guard, they're going to have more turnovers than anyone from stolen passes and stuff. But
it worries me what the Thunder, like, the Pacers clearly went on a mission yesterday, and it was great to see. They went on the mission. We are not losing at our home court. They did not want to see the Thunder, the West Coast team. This is a Pacers team that, like, many are saying, like, oh, this is the team of destiny. This is like America's team right now for some reason. This is like, you got some likable guys. I mean, both teams have likable guys, but the Pacers are, for some reason, the team that a lot of people are rallying behind. I guess you could probably say, because you could argue they've had the harder path. They had to go through the Celtics, not the Celtics, the Knicks, the Cavs. Who else was there? Who was in round 1? Pacers.
For the Pacers?
Was it the Bucks?
They went to the Bucks, yeah.
I think they've had a harder path than the Thunder. I don't think that's wild to say, is it?
Who?
The Pacers. Have they had that?
They've had the hardest path ever.
Like,
I think, personally.
It's argued that the Pacers have had the way harder path to the
Bucks. They went through the Bucks, the Cavs, the Knicks.
Yeah.
And
the Thunder went through I can't remember.
Thunder went through they went through the Nuggets.
Grizzlies, Nuggets, Timberwolves.
Yeah. Wait, so Pacers go? The Pacers had to have gone through one more team.
No, they weren't a play-in. They only had 3 rounds.
Well, then I don't know.
But yeah, but this Pacers team, like I said, it gives me team of destiny vibes. They went in on a mission, and they had a commanding win. They won by over 20 points. So great game for the Pacers. I mean, Thunder fans, I don't think they're that worried because they're going back to home. This series could easily just turn back into whatever game it was I was looking at, where they literally steamrolled them. Hopefully, if you're a Pacers fan, it's not going to be like their game where they lost 116 to 107 or 108 to 91. That could be bad. But yeah, I mean, game 7 could go anyway. I had it going 6, I think, in my predictions. You were saying earlier maybe a sweep or in 5, but I think this series has blown everyone's expectations out of the water because everyone was like, "Oh, this is gonna be a steamrolling," but no, it's been very entertaining.
Yeah, this has been a great game. Again, I thought that this wasn't even going to be close. I thought that the Thunder were the best team. I was like, this is one of the best teams I've ever seen regular season. And the finals, I don't know, Nate. That Indiana, they play with such a pace of play that it is tiring to a team like Oklahoma City. But they're still young, but now it goes back to OKC. If the Thunder were to lose, Nate, is this one of the biggest? Like, do we consider this even like a choke?
Here's the thing about
It's not
the
like
Thunder.
they blew a 3-1 lead. They were never up more than one game ever.
They're a really good team at home. Regular season, you ready for this? The Pacers are a 20-20 road team this year in the regular season. The Thunder are 35-6 at home. They have thrived under home field advantage, like home court, that is. This playoffs at home, they swept the Grizzlies, so that's 2-0. They split with actually, they took one. Actually, no. They took 3 at home against the Nuggets because that went 7. So, and then they lost one of them. So they went 5-1 in the first 2 series. And then the final series, 6-1, 7-1, 8-1. 8-1 at home this playoffs. Before the finals, so far against the Pacers, they've lost 1. Or they lost 1-1-1, 1-2, that is. So they are 10-2 right now, if I did the quick math. 10-2 at home this playoffs, on top of, like I said, a 35-6 at home during the regular season. Put that together, you have a crazy good number. If you're the Pacers, you have to play like you did. Exactly. Everyone needs to be perfect. Halliburton, keep him healthy. Siakam needs to be doing what he has been doing. If the Pacers win Game 7, Siakam will be the MVP. I know you'll be happy about that. But
yeah,
they need to play exactly. Like, they need to hope Chet Holmgren does what he's done in Game 5 and 6. They need to hope he doesn't show up like he did in Games 2 and 3. They need to hope maybe Shea Gilgeous-Alexander has a very quiet, maybe like 18-point day. I don't think that's going to happen. They need to hope Jalen Williams does what he did in Game 6 again, all those turnovers. Like, he brought up the negative plus minus. That was really bad. But yeah, they got to hope they don't get like the Tyrese Halliburton that scored 4 points. They need their superstar, like they like to say, superstar, be a superstar right now. He needs to. This is a game that Tyrese Halliburton can silence a lot of haters, I think, and I think that's going to be a storyline. However,
I mean, he also is playing hurt.
Yeah, if he wins, if he has like a crazy 20-point game playing hurt in Game 7, he's going to get a lot of respect, like a lot more than what he's been given. But yeah, this has been a great series, man. And Sunday, I wish this was on today or tomorrow. I don't want to wait till Sunday. Play it now.
I mean, they have to travel and then they're getting an extra day. Hey, I don't know. I'm so torn. I think Halliburton, he's accepted his kind of role on this team now. Of like, not accepted it, but like he knows that he's not 100%. So he played well. He wasn't trying to chuck shots. He was for a while. He was 0 for 3 for the first like quarter, and I was like, oh, here we go. And then he found his kind of rhythm. Didn't play the whole fourth quarter, but if you had to pick, Nate, or who are you going with for Sunday?
Yeah, Halliburton. Also, you bring up plus minus. He had the best on the court for the Pacers, plus 25.
He played great. He played great.
Best in the entire game, by the way, both teams. If I'm picking right now, I have a preference of who I want to win. It's the Pacers. For some reason, though, I think the Thunder are just going to wake up. I think, like, I don't know. I think if I pick the Thunder, then the Pacers will win and I'll be happy. I mean, I won't be mad at any of these teams winning. Like I said, I just have a preference of who I want. The Thunder, though, SGA winning the MVP. I think he's going to rally that team. They're a really good team at home. However, if the Pacers play like they did in Game 6, they should win it, but I am probably taking Oklahoma City. If it was in Indianapolis, however, I'm taking Indiana. Just because it seems like this series, especially, it is going to benefit the home team, especially down the stretch.
Yeah. If I had to make a pick, I feel like I can't switch off the Thunder.
Yeah.
I've just been so high on them. But last game, I was like, Jesus, like. But I don't think the Thunder are going to go play like that again. I think the Thunder, they have to win.
That's
I hope it's not a blowout. I really hope it's not a blowout. I hope it's close. I hope it's a great game because this has been when we came into this, I go, this finals is going to suck. It's going to be a 4-game sweep. SGA is going to drop 50 every game, and it's not even going to be fun to watch. This has been the most exciting finals I've watched, Nate, since 2016, and that's as a Raptors fan who watched my team win a championship. This has been the most exciting. I mean, like non-bias. Obviously, I enjoyed the 2019 championship the most out of any sporting event ever of all time. But finals-wise, this has to be the most exciting. If your team hasn't been to the finals ever, like this is the most exciting final since the 2016 3-1 comeback.
Yeah, that's fair. I think with this finals, the whole thing was no one was like like you see on social media. I understand why people didn't like it because it was two small market teams. I could care less. I want to see something different, and I think the Pacers and Thunder have completely like just silenced everyone. Let's like Adam Silver said before, like no one's complaining if it's Steelers Packers in the NFL. I mean, the NFL is a completely different ball game, but like those are small market teams. I understand what he was saying, but like people probably would rather watch if you had the choice of between finals, people are probably going to take a Lakers Celtics final over Thunder Pacers. They're going to take Lakers Knicks over Thunder Pacers or like any of those big markets. But honestly, in my opinion, as a guy that like lives in a small market area, like supporting like you and I both, I like this. I like this for the small markets getting their push. I've been blown away. I thought it was going to be in 6. I was not expecting a 7-game marathon. It's also nice it's 7 games because the Stanley Cup Finals already ended, so we at least have something else to watch before football goes and gets going. So, yeah, I got Thunder. I'm sticking with them. I think that's who I picked in the first place.
Yeah.
They got to hope Chet Holmgren wakes up, though. That's a key. Honestly, that might be the X factor if they win or lose if Chet Holmgren doesn't play good. He needs to play like he did in games 1 and 2.
You gotta figure it out somehow. I think that the Thunder at home are the best team in the NBA at home. That's really not disputable. They have to win. They have to win. Or is this one of the biggest? Like, is this a choke?
I don't know because the Pacers are having a really good playoffs. That's
these are the best 2 teams in the NBA since January 1st, I believe it is. Like they have the 2 best records in the NBA since January 1st. Both of these teams are the hottest team since that date. Yeah. So a lot of people are saying, "Oh, it's the Pacers. Everyone's supposed to be there." Bro, the Pacers were a damn good team. They were the best team in the East since January 1st.
I have a
they
question.
Deserve it. Yeah.
Siakam, you would say the Pacers have the most finals experience. They have Siakam.
Well, the Thunder have Alex Caruso.
Yeah, sure. But yeah, this is gonna be I'm with you. I just hope it's not a blowout. I mean, I also really like the Pacers bench pieces they have too. Like Obi Toppin, for some reason, is having a great series in my opinion. He had 20 points last night. I like what TJ McConnell's doing. Thunder wise, it's kind of everywhere. You got Jalen Williams he had plus 13 on the plus minus 7 points. You had a Isaiah Joe scoring 11 out of nowhere. But yeah, I'm excited. Sunday can't come faster. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. What we're talking about on Tuesday, who wins or loses. Because right then you would say the offseason just gets into high gear because we already the Pacers already traded for a draft pick. So we all know about Desmond Bane too, but yeah, offseason's going to get going.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what else we have to talk about the finals, but
you want to shift to another offseason?
Sure.
It's another dream season in Steelers Twitter land. I'm not getting my hopes up, man. Can't.
I can't.
It's realistic, but I can't.
I can't do this anymore.
Do we want to address the elephant in the room? Yep, there he is.
Again, it's the same shit every week. I swear to God, as a Steelers fan. Jalen Ramsey followed 6 Steelers on Twitter. Followed DK like Deshaun Elliott.
I think Broderick Jones was on.
Yeah. What is weird though is the fact, like, I'd be like, okay, let's just shut up. But he followed DK. Nate, that's pretty weird. They hate each other.
Didn't he also like a post about all the Steelers veterans they added, like DK, Rodgers, and Darius Slay?
Yeah.
I'm going to type in Jalen Ramsey on Twitter, see what pops up.
Jesus.
Adam Schefter thinks he's getting traded before training camp. So, you see a lot of Panthers fans. Here's all the people that followed him. Deshaun Elliott, a corner. Joey Porter Jr., a corner. Dante Jackson, I don't even think he's on the team anymore, but guess what position he is? A corner. Darius Slay, a corner. There's Broderick Jones. But yeah, DK Metcalf too. You said they have beef, so.
They do. I mean, they do have beef.
Bro, can you imagine Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Rodgers, and DK Metcalf all trying to get along? Hey, but you know what? Supposedly George Pickens was the problem.
Yeah.
There was a report that's saying Aaron Rodgers had something to do with that, but I don't believe it yet. What do you think about all this? What's the percentage?
I honestly think him following DK, like that says something, because they had the biggest beef. They had some of the biggest beef in the NFL. Whenever Jalen was on the Rams and DK was on the Seahawks, they were fist fighting like every game.
You know the account Polymarket?
Yeah.
I don't know how true this is, but supposedly he's officially requested to be traded back to the Rams, Chargers, or 49ers.
Oh.
I don't know how accurate this is.
Wait, is he not a free agent?
No, he's on the Dolphins. He's under contract.
What are we talking about? I thought he was a free. People were talking like he was a free agent.
I really don't believe that, just because like the only report I've seen is like he has the preference to go out west, but who also had that? DK Metcalf.
True.
And where he wanted to go somewhere with a quarterback, and then he went to the Steelers when they didn't have a quarterback. Like he went there before Mason Rudolph signed. Their QB was a question mark. Like their QB was, I hope it's Justin Fields. I hope it's Russ. That was their quarterback. Or you could say Skylar Thompson at the time.
Yeah.
I don't think he cares. It's the money. The money talks. So, I'm curious, do the Steelers need him? I don't know. But would they like him? It would already add to, the highest, people like to say it's the biggest defense. The team thrives on defense. Tomlin loves defense. The question is, if you get him, I don't really know his contract off the top of my head. Let me look it up really quick. But I'm curious what that would do for a TJ Watt contract, what that would do for adding to the offense. That's what worries me.
Yeah.
Because I think TJ and getting another wide receiver are more important than adding another corner.
I agree.
His cap hit in 2025 is $16.6 million.
That would be nice.
Cash this year, $25.1 million. Ooh. I don't know.
I don't think we need Jalen Ramsey. Do you?
No.
We don't need that. We don't need him. I thought he was a free agent from what people were saying. I guess I don't know ball, but people were saying, oh, where's Jalen Ramsey going to go? I don't know. I thought he was a free agent. I guess he's just going to stay on the Dolphins. Now, is he washed? Yes, incredibly.
I don't think it makes sense why they won it, just because it's a team that thrives on defense. They don't care about offense. I think you and I can agree on that. The Steelers are a defense-first football team. If you do this, it is a great defense, and it counteracts what the Ravens just did on Wednesday, signing Jair Alexander to that
Correct.
1-year deal.
Correct.
And you would have Jalen Ramsey locked up at least till 2028. He's not a free agent till 29. But the question is this. If you're spending that money on Jalen Ramsey on his contract, what are you doing with TJ? What are you doing with a wide receiver too? You have all these reports saying people think they should just extend Calvin Austin, which I think honestly, like, he deserves that contract, but not as a wide receiver 2. He's a wide receiver 3. I'd extend him like maybe 1 or 2 years.
Do what? For how much money are you going to extend Calvin Austin for?
You remember the Juju deal? 1 year.
Yeah.
Add another year to the deal. I mean, they waited till Juju was a free agent, but like
Calvin hasn't done anything though.
He had a good year last year. He had a really good year.
He had a really good year,
in my opinion. Yeah, for Steelers standards, yes.
I don't think
we know. Listen, we know he was literally their number 2. He's going to be their number 2 wide receiver again. He needs to be wide receiver 3. Extend if you're going to pay. He's a free agent though next year. That's also a question. So if they like him so much, which I think they do, he's a speed threat. I think he can be a slot guy. If anything, like I'm curious if Aaron Rodgers can unlock this guy, make him look really good. You remember how Josh Allen made Gabe Davis look elite?
Yeah.
I don't think this is going to be the same thing. But Calvin Austin, like when he got drafted, people were like, this guy could be like Tyreek. He's so fast. We've seen the plays before. Remember these moon balls he was getting? There was one play, I think it was Kenny to him. I think it was in Vegas the one time. He was found deep, and it was perfect.
Yeah.
I think if this is a guy like they like as a wide receiver 2 option, try it, sure, but then you got to pay him like one. That's the thing. Because if he has a really good year this year and you don't pay him at training camp, which I don't think he's going to be one to hold out. I think he's already been there because like he's a young guy. He doesn't really need that yet. But I'm curious what they do. I don't know your opinions on this guy, but like Mark Gapoli brought it up. Like, do you give him a 1 to 2 year deal because he's a free agent next year? Yeah. And with how weak the wide receiver room is, I think they should. Like, look at what they have. Like, it's very bleak. Besides DK Metcalf, and they created this problem.
Yeah, it is.
Like wide receiver. Now we're going from Jalen Ramsey to this.
Yeah.
DK, Roman Wilson. Okay, your wide receiver 2 now is Robert Woods. On the depth chart, it's Robert Woods.
Okay.
I'm taking Calvin Austin III over Robert Woods right now. The upside.
I'm not.
You're not?
Not for 1 year, no. I'm not.
You're not taking Calvin Austin over Robert Woods.
Calvin Austin hasn't proved anything ever.
Robert Woods last year had 203 receiving yards.
All Calvin Austin is someone. He was fast at the draft. He's fast.
Calvin Austin last year, 548 receiving yards. He was better than Robert Woods. Also, he's younger, way younger, 26 to 33. That's why I'm taking him over Robert Woods. But Robert Woods this year, I get the signing. But you know what he's going to be? It's going to be Van Jefferson or Allen Robinson III. This is this year's Van Jefferson. He's not going to be used. I know they have him listed as wide receiver 2, but he's going to get used as much as Van and Allen Robinson. This is I guess you could say, the Rowdy Tellez of this year. The Tommy Pham of the Steelers. He's not hateable, but it's like, this is the 1 year contract for the veteran wide receiver just to teach some guys. Like, he's there to teach a Calvin Austin. He's there to teach a Scotty Miller, Ben Skoranek, Roman Wilson, all these young guys, maybe to unlock something. Because this is an NFL vet by the end of the day. He's had some injury issues. He's been around the league. But yeah, that's the position they need to adjust more than corner. Because are you really comfortable going into at least even the preseason? Like, if you lose one of these guys, get hurt, per se DK Metcalf gets hurt, your wide receiver 1's Robert Woods.
Like, that is so bad. That is terrible. Now, like, I still don't understand why you get rid of George Pickens. Now stuff is coming out that says Aaron Rodgers got rid of George Pickens. Aaron Rodgers wasn't on the Pittsburgh Steelers when we traded George Pickens, Nate. He wasn't.
It's supposedly he had something to do with it, the decision to come here.
I just don't think that that's possible as a guy that literally wasn't signed yet. And I think that, again, this is the damn Pittsburgh sports media trying to already make Aaron Rodgers a bad guy Well, I don't like Aaron Rodgers, but they're already
Same.
trying to make this guy and push this narrative that Aaron Rodgers is already making these calls. Nate, he wasn't even on the team yet.
Do you think it was a thing where they were worried? If it is a real thing per se, I'm not saying it is. Do you think the Steelers brass or whatever is like, we don't want another Garrett Wilson situation where he's like where a wide receiver we really like might just say, screw it, trade me, I can't do this? Because you could say like Rodgers does play favorites with wide receivers. We've seen it in the past. Like
For
when
sure.
Devontae Adams went to the Jets, it seemed like Garrett Wilson just poofed away.
Yeah.
Alan Lazard seemed to get more from Aaron Rodgers than Garrett Wilson did. That scares me. Aaron Rodgers, if Alan Lazard, I'm surprised Alan Lazard ain't here yet. I'd take him at this
I
point.
would take Alan Lazard as well.
This is such a weird season. I don't know how bad or good they're going to be. It's gonna be 9-8. But like I don't know what they are doing. Because if they lose, like, remember when George got hurt last year?
Yeah.
It was abysmal. If DK Metcalf has injury issues, we've seen it in the past.
Yeah, he does.
And they paid him to a big, I think the largest wide receiver contract in team history. I don't know if it's in the league, but like Robert Woods or Calvin Austin turn into your wide receiver ones.
Like you just need like Nate, we went from getting DK and being like, oh my god, like now we don't have to worry about wide receivers for the first time in what 6 years since we had AB and like
James Washington,
like since that core, since we had like literally we've had
Martavis Bryant. That's who I couldn't think of
since that core. And you had George Pickens, you had DK, and you piss it down your leg.
It was going to be special, man.
It was going to be amazing. But so now you need a wide receiver again. And it sucks that they couldn't do it before the draft because then you draft a wide receiver. Sorry, we'll probably get Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah, we're going to get Brandon Ayuk. Hey, the Jalen Ramsey trade is at the finish line. I am so worried with this season still. It could be good. It could be bad. But what worries me is the motif of the season is going to be defense first, no offense. Yeah. Are we ever again going to see would we have to wait till Tomlin's gone to see a new trend of Steelers football where it's pure offense, like what we're seeing in the league today? Because I feel like the only team in Pittsburgh right now, and I'm not going to get on a tangent, this is for another day, like the only team in the NFL today being left behind, not playing offense, is the Pittsburgh Steelers.
100%. They haven't had an offense, and you hope that bringing Aaron Rodgers in, you can throw to the middle of the field. You'll use your tight ends finally. But I don't think Aaron Rodgers. A reason I do like Aaron Rodgers, Nate, is he's not going to put up with the shit that a guy like Kenny Pickett put up with. He's not going to put up with the shit that listen, a guy like Kenny Pickett, Justin Fields, you're still young in the league. You don't tell an offensive coordinator, no, I'm not doing that. Russ did it, and he faced repercussions for it. Okay? Russ, remember that? They said Russ was
him and Arthur Smith were kind of butting heads.
Okay? What do you think is going to happen if you tell Aaron Rodgers, no, you're not allowed to call audibles?
He's still going to do it anyway.
That doesn't fly with a guy like Aaron Rodgers. Russ is a nice guy. He'll
go on Pat. He'll go on McAfee.
Exactly. So, I'm excited for that aspect. Is I think the plays are going to be a lot different. We're going to see a different brand of Steelers offense football. You don't have Najee that's just going to give you a 2-yard carry. But I don't think the Steelers running back room is any better. I think it got worse for sure.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Najee was a great pass catcher.
The thing about that too, doesn't the McAfee show with Rodgers when he's on, doesn't it air while Mike Tomlin's doing his press conference or before it?
I don't know.
I have a wondering if they're going to keep letting him go on. You think this part of his contract?
You can't tell him. Bro, you think Mike Tomlin couldn't stop anything. He has the worst locker room management out of and I love Tomlin, and he has the worst locker room management out of any coach I think I've ever seen. Antonio Brown was live streaming on Facebook Live, naked guys in the locker room.
I forgot about that.
George Pickens is showing up late to games. Nate, he has no say over anyone in that locker room. Anyone ever. Yeah, he wants to be a player's coach, which is fine.
That's why people want to play for the Steelers, man.
Correct.
You can get away with stuff.
Yeah. But
And that's part of the
I don't know,
reason I want him
digress.
gone. I want to change. But at running back room.
Yeah.
You brought that
Well-
up. I'll bring this up too. I know you and I have both been critical about Najee Harris. There were reports the Chargers might flip him too. I don't know if you ever saw those reports. Like they were already looking at
Bring
trading
him back, bro. Bring him back.
Jalen Warren, Caleb Johnson, rookie. They brought in Kenneth Gainwell, and they got Trey Sermon as the fourth guy.
It's not a bad. I think Kenneth Gainwell is going to be your pass catcher.
Yeah, your third guy.
Yeah.
I'm very curious about Caleb Johnson. It worries me though.
agree.
Like people compare him literally just to Najee Harris, just because he didn't have a good 40 time. He's not really a elusive running back like when he was at Iowa. He
Sure.
seemed like another power back, but he seemed a little bit more electric, I guess, than Najee. But even then, Najee had some really good plays at Alabama.
Yeah.
We never saw an Alabama type rush with Najee Harris. I think there was a stat, I don't know at the top of my head, it was like something along the lines like he never had a rush over like 40 or 50 yards with the Steelers, or at least 50
No,
it was.
Jalen Warren that broke that big run.
Like, I'm curious how Jalen Warren is going to do as running back one, but he is also we saw injury issues with him. Caleb Johnson could be in the running to be wide receiver one by the end of the year. I know they just paid Jalen Warren an okay size deal. I think it might have been 1 year actually, just to buy out his year before free agency. But I'm curious if Caleb Johnson is the actual, this is the plan. Like they might give Jalen Warren that short leash, because I think running back is that position. Like you just said, it's kind of more worrisome. For some reason, it's kind of flown under the radar. Like for some reason, there aren't as many fans worried about running backs. I guess because it's like wide receivers are more flashy. They have the better names. But like you look at there's a certain running back in this division, Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
He's electric. Now, can Jalen Warren, Caleb Johnson, Kenneth Gainwell, and Trey Sermon match what he can do? No. Maybe if you combine all their powers together.
The only
then,
thing is
probably
Najee rushed for 1,000 yards every year.
Yeah, I don't know if you're going to get that with a healthy Jalen Warren.
Listen, I don't think so either. I think this is going to be, you know what this reminds me of, Nate? When Le'Veon Bell left, and then, I mean, I'm not comparing, like you can't compare Le'Veon to Najee. That's not what I'm trying to say here. But I'm saying when the running back one left, and then James Conner stepped up, and James Conner was a Pro Bowl running back, I guess that could happen with Jalen Warren, where he's just like, all right, finally I get my chance to shine, and then he gets it. But
Jalen Warren, his career so far over 3 seasons. I had 77 carries in 22. He had 379 average, 4.9 a carry. 2023 was his highest average. He had 149 carries most of his career, 784 yards. That seemed to be his breakout year. People were really excited for him. 5.3 yards, and he was running back 2 this whole time. And then year 3, last season, he had an injury at the beginning. He played in 15 games, the least of his career, 120 carries, 511 yards. Worst average, but it was still 4.3. He's a career 4.8 yards a rush guy. You know what he is? He's an average running back. That's what he is. He's not elite. Yeah. He's not awful. He's good, average. He's not He's not yippee good. He's just cool. Good. It's like the scale is like right in the middle. He's a question mark. I hope he's healthy. But
we'll take the topic to a different so we're gonna stay in the division, Nate. Cincinnati Bengals have a problem on their hands. They got a big problem.
When don't they?
Shamar Stewart has not signed yet with the Bengals, Nate. You think he signs?
I don't know, because if he doesn't sign, he can just go back to the draft next year.
Correct. He can go back to the draft, and the Bengals are the only team that can't pick him.
And, you know, it's funny. They put, like, supposedly, like, certain clauses in his contract that his agent found. Like, they're trying to do stuff behind his back, it seems. Like, This is just a joke. That team is a joke. I know, I mean, our team ain't that far from it when it comes to talent-wise. But, like, the Bengals put so much money into 2 wide receivers. They have a bigger problem on their hands. Not even this. It's Trey Hendrickson. You have to get that guy back because he's talented. That dude is a dog, in my opinion.
I agree.
He's up there. He's shown it. Like, he can be like a TJ. He can be like a Miles. He had an amazing year last year. But if you can't sign your first round pick because you are adding stuff to his contract, like hidden clauses to make him be like, I don't know about that. He left mandatory minicamp. This was on June, like last week. This all came out. We forgot to talk about it last week and whatever, Wednesday. But I'm happy we're talking about it now because it's a very interesting story because, like, he can opt out of his contract still. If you don't know, he can opt out, sit out the entire year, re-enter the draft in 26.
And he said some crazy stuff so far. He said, and I quote, "I'm 100% right." So the whole situation, if anyone doesn't know that, is he's sitting out because of a contract situation. I believe it's where he's sitting out over a new clause. This clause would allow for the Bengals to void any future guaranteed money if Stewart breaches a certain conditions, infractions related to on-field conduct. Stewart wants his deal to match those of the earlier first rounders, like the people that were signed above him, that don't have this crazy clause. No one has this clause that the Bengals are trying to put in Shamir Stewart's contract. And so Stewart said that he said, and I quote, "I'm 100% right. I'm not asking for nothing y'all haven't done before. Y'all just want to win arguments more than winning games." That's crazy.
Here's an interesting note, too. This is according to Kelsey Conway, the Cincinnati Enquirer. The Bengals are, quote, are trying to change the language in the contract for their first round pick that allows the team to void futures. Like,
they literally scammed him. Yeah. They tried to, at least.
Bengals are like a weird team. Like, they have so much talent, but they, like, for some reason they just seem poor. Like, this is such a Pirates type of football team. Like, you're cutting players before they hit incentives type of thing. And we all know that story. Stewart was the 17th pick, which gave him a slot value of $18,942,634. So, in the draft, if you're a first-round pick, you're making over $10 million. The lowest amount someone made slot value is 32nd overall, 14.656. I think that was the guy who got picked by the Chiefs, because the Chiefs and Eagles did that trade.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is interesting. Do you think he's going to play this year? Do you think they get this done? Or do you think it's cooked?
I think it's cooked from what he's saying. I mean, like, listen, if I'm him, I'm not going to play for you guys. If you're literally trying to scam him. Like, the Bengals don't even use this clause on any of their other rookies. None of them.
Now, here's a question. You can't really go back to college. I don't think he can. Like, the USFL is already done, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what's he going to do for a year? Just work out and train?
Work out, and I would, if I were him, I'm posting videos showing how I'm still in shape. And then
it's so weird.
But you're going to fall. You're going to fall probably the second round now.
It's so weird that even though he got drafted, he can't just say screw it and not just go as an undrafted free agent. That's such an odd rule.
True, that is weird. Yeah.
There has to be something. Like, he just can't just... It's weird. I guess because the Bengals have the rights to his contract, that does make sense.
Mm-hmm.
But he hasn't officially signed this contract.
Yeah.
So he's not really a Bengal. Well, you know what? Yeah, he is, I guess, because they did draft him. So they do have the rights to sign.
He hasn't signed, but yeah.
I think they exclusively own the rights, though, because they drafted the guy. So that, I guess, does make sense.
This is the only second major rookie holdout since Joey Bosa in 2016. I remember that. That was crazy. Let's see, risks and potential outcomes. Yada yada yada. If unsigned by November 11th, he will be eligible. He will be ineligible for the season and can re-enter the draft. So it's November 11th is his deadline. Or he could sit out and re-enter the draft, but he'd forfeit 84,000 base pay and bonuses this season.
This is so weird.
I've never seen this like this. Never.
I don't know what to say.
If you're him, but if I'm him, Nate, there's no way I'm signing with y'all. Y'all literally try to put something in fine print on my contract that says we can void any of your guaranteed money anytime we want. Nate, that would be like if you had a job and you had a paycheck. Like, that is guaranteed money. Say you were like, okay, I work 15 hours every week. Okay. or whatever, 78 hours a week. I'm guaranteed to make this much money if I work that. And then your job says, you know what? In your contract, we actually said that whenever we want, we can just say we're not going to pay you that. We're just going to pay you minimum wage for how much that was. You can't do that. And the Bengals are trying to get away with that. It's a scummy organization. I've always felt that way.
I feel like his career is screwed now for some reason. I
But
don't
is
know
it?
what it is.
But is it? Like, he's doing the right thing.
If
No
he
one
doesn't,
thinks that he's in the wrong.
Yeah. My thing is, though,
My
with
point.
this, I don't like the Bengals doing this, but from a career perspective here,
It's literally only him, though. It feels like they're targeting Shamar Stewart.
My worry with this, though, like, if he doesn't play in the NFL this year, and, like, I don't blame him for not doing this. If I were him, like, I would just sign the contract because I don't want to lose a year in my career. That's how I'm thinking. Because if you think about it here, he's 21 now. He's going to be
and you're locked up for. But then if you sign, you're locked up for 5 years with a team you don't want to be on, that you know doesn't respect you, and you don't have guaranteed money.
Just do what we both hate. Just demand a trade. Hold out.
But as a rookie, say he's an unbelievable rookie, like, they're not going to trade you.
There has to be a way.
So you're in jail for 5 years.
We've seen it with other teams. They do like sign-in trades.
Yeah.
There has to be a way for like the Bengals just to get this guy to a contract that like another team signs or whatever. Say like the Seahawks, for example, say here's how much we'll give him the value. You sign him, we'll trade for him and take his contract. There has to be a way to do that. I think the bridge has been burnt, but not. I don't know. I think they can fix this contract, but for some reason, the Bengals as of late have been a really scummy. Like
that's what I'm saying. They've
like the T. Higgins stuff too.
The Jamar Chase stuff, like, Nate, I would never. And I know I hate the Bengals. I hate the Bengals.
They're acting like the Pirates.
They're acting very much like they don't need to be acting like this, Nate.
Like, they're acting poor, even though they signed T. Higgins, Jamar, and Joe Burrow.
Well, they're poor after that Jamar Chase contract for sure.
Did Joe Burrow officially get inked? Like, is he like locked up?
Yeah, they signed him, I think, a few years ago.
I don't know if he's. I know it was Josh Allen was the one that was coming up, but like he got signed. I don't know why I'm curious about this now. Yeah, he's not a free agent until like 2030. For some reason I didn't think he was locked up. Hey, did you hear about it? Did you hear about another AFC North story really quick? I forget what else we had on tap, but you hear about some guy was out speeding through Cleveland?
Yeah, sure.
Did you hear about an NBA player that was out? Bro, what's with these young guys trying to ruin their careers?
101 miles per hour. People were making jokes saying they were drag racing.
Someone said it was on the anniversary of Henry Ruggs too.
Wow.
I don't know how real that is, or like
maybe it's like a challenge.
What's with these young guys saying, you know what, I don't care anymore. We got our money. Let's go.
Listen, speed. I got pulled over on my way up to Syracuse.
I know you did. Because you made fun of Desmond Bain.
I made fun of Desmond Bain. I'll make fun of it again. But I was like, oh Jesus, I'm so cooked. Imagine going 101 miles an hour and getting pulled over. Like, I'd be like, yeah, you're going to jail. If I'm the cop, I'm swear to God, I'm taking you to jail. 101, you kill someone. Henry Ruggs did kill someone.
Yeah.
Was Henry Ruggs, was he drinking?
Was he just speeding? I don't know for sure, but it was bad. Like, yeah, someone passed away. So
yeah.
But it was also in Vegas on the Strip, I think, wasn't it?
Damn. I've been on that Strip.
Yeah, same. Crazy. It's scary.
Yeah.
Like, my friends there, they just started, I'm walking across. Like, no. I know what happened here.
Yeah, Henry Ruggs.
Like, yeah, you got idiot kids driving sports cars. What are we doing? Like, Shedeur Sanders already had enough ridicule, like, dropping in the draft. There were teams like anxious not to pick him, and this is helping their case.
Well, I mean, listen, I got to play both sides. There was a certain athlete in 2003 that was pulled over for going 101 miles per hour, and his name was LeBron Ramon James, and now he's the best basketball player and one of the best athletes of all time. So
please don't compare Shedeur Sanders to LeBron.
Both Cleveland guys, though, Nate.
Oh, okay. I get LeBron, not Shedeur.
Boom, 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 boom.
Now, I'll ask you this. Do you think quick question about Cleveland's quarterback room now. You think Kenny's gone? Because there's been stuff saying he's been the most underperformed guy at their.
Really? Oh, that sucks, dude. Kenny's literally like
I think Flacco's the guy to start.
Yeah. Flacco,
Should
he gave
be.
you a crazy good season. Why not? 2 years ago.
Do you think Kenny's the more than likely guy to go? Like get traded? I would say they get trades.
But who's gonna? No one's trading for Kenny Pickett.
Who needs
Unless
who
you need a
needs like
backup quarterback.
Who needs backup QBs? Like anyone would take a
Pittsburgh, the
backup.
Steelers. Actually, no, we have Will Howard. We're fine.
Yeah, we got Will. We got the GOAT right now.
Who needs a backup? I don't know.
Is there another? The Panthers?
Wow, I'd get that jersey. That'd be fire. Kenny Pickett Panthers jersey would feed.
That would actually cook.
Yeah, I don't know. Kenny's done. Listen, he's like Nathan Peterman.
It's sad they both went to Pitt too.
Yep. Oh yeah. That's why I made the comparison, but I don't know.
What a weird episode for some reason.
Yeah. We calling it here at this?
I mean,
done with the NFL. We can talk about the MLB another episode, I guess.
Yeah, I was just gonna say we had a couple fights.
We would have.
People swinging at fans on my team, our favorite team. We had Tommy Pham yelling at fans.
I'm shocked it wasn't Tommy Pham that was swinging at
fans.
That
was a game. That game was like the game of all time. You had Pham kicking fans out. You had Dennis Santana in the bullpen swinging and missing. You had. I mean, I'm on his side. If the fan must have said something like there was a video on Twitter. It was like the fan turned the camera around. It's like, yeah, this guy looks punchable. He had like the frat boy, like moppy haircut.
Yeah.
That type of kid. Yeah. He looked like he probably said something.
There's always two sides to a story.
I'm just happy Tommy Pham didn't do like the obscure hand gesture to the fans.
Yeah, that was fire.
That would have been really funny though. If they did that behind
my only thing is, as a professional athlete, especially in a bullpen, you got to be used to getting chirped. So unless you say something literally so egregious to like someone, like you can't have rabbit ears as a professional player. You just can't do it. Because now look at that guy. He could get cut for some of that, for that shit.
And the best part is like, this is the first, like he's even said before, like, and he's said in an interview, like after the game, Santana, I like him. He's never been a guy to fight anyone. Like this is the first time he's actually had this type of situation and is like, I think he's a free agent next year, so it's like a 7-year career. So like, he's probably going to get suspended. There hasn't been anything else. It helps he didn't hit the guy. He missed.
Yeah.
The cop didn't stop him, so maybe the cop also heard something saying like, "Oh, maybe he does deserve."
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was funny. It was an experience. They had a rain delay with. You could say he got screwed over though because he was pitching in the bottom of the ninth. They called a rain delay in the middle of an at bat with 1 out. And then the Pirates won. So is what it is. Detroit fans have gone soft. They became good once in their life, and they don't know how to act.
Yep.
It's kind of funny, but we'll be like that too in 20 years, maybe.
We're not getting there. Ever.
Never. Yeah, never again. Hey,
all right, well,
one final note, very quick. I don't know if you saw this. I went on Twitter. I woke up this morning. I think it was yesterday they posted this. Steelers Pro Shop. You won't want to miss this one. It looks like the reveal for the 50th anniversary unis are next week.
Ooh.
Gold helmets.
That'd be fire.
The teaser pics just a 50th anniversary patch, all yellow, patch in white and black.
Oh, wow.
Just look up Steelers Pro Shop on Twitter. It makes me excited.
That does a fire.
It's the top one.
Ooh.
All gold.
Yeah, all gold could be tough, Nate.
Give me the bumblebees.
Wow, all gold cash. That's fire.
Hey, DK Metcalf jerseys.
Fire.
Aaron Rodgers.
We'll take it. Yeah, good episode today, Nate. Yeah.
Thank you all. Finals. We'll have the recap for finals on Tuesday. Sure.
Yeah, that'll do it for today's episode.
Okay.
See you guys next time. Adios.
See y'all later. Danny forgot to end the stream. Oh no. I need him to log back in.
I left the studio on accident.
There he is. You forgot to end the stream. Farewell, everyone.
We'll see you guys.